going on, guys? This is MrTeej66 Movie Reviews. I am Mr. Teej. Today, I will be taking a look at Iron Man, from the original, from 2008, that started the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. With Infinity Wars just around the corner, I figured I would go back to the movie that started this whole crazy, ridiculous thing. And how does it hold up after 10 years? Absolutely fantastic. This is still one of the absolute best superhero films ever made. I would definitely put this in the top 5 because sometimes it doesn't really feel like a superhero film, which is probably the best compliment you can give to a superhero movie. You know, movies like Logan and The Dark Knight, they feel more. They feel more than just superhero films. This feels like a political, almost a political thriller. Just happens to have a guy, you know, in a metal suit. I think we have to go to probably the best part of this movie, absolutely without a doubt, Robert Downey Jr. This is the film that put him back on the map after being, you know, a heroin addict for a really long time. I grew up in the 90s, and I remember you could not look at a tabloid without seeing Robert Downey Jr. on the cover, you know, him overdosing or causing trouble. And I remember thinking, man, this guy's never going to get his life together. But he did. He was off, you know, he got this movie role, and he actually wasn't paid as much as you would think. Now he's making, like, I don't even know how much money, but for this film, he got paid considerably less than some of the other cast members. But he is absolutely, without a doubt, the best part of this movie. Charismatic as hell, funny. The one-liners just come off like that. But he handles the dramatic parts as well, very well. You know, there's more to Tony than you think. It's not all flippant one-liners. There's a soul to him, which I don't think he's ever been given enough credit. He handles the dramatic parts really great. You have Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, his love interest, his assistant and love interest, and she's pretty good too. Some of her other film roles, I find her very snobby and very unlikable, but here, her and Downey have fantastic chemistry, back and forth. It's absolutely first rate. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get my negative out of the way. I only have one really negative part of this movie. It's Terrence Howard. I don't buy him as any kind of military commander. I'm not a big fan of him as an actor, so he just is blah in this movie. I think Don Cheadle does a much better job. Is way more convincing as a military colonel, you know, badass when he wears the War Machine suit. I never could see Terrence Howard wearing the War Machine suit. So that's sort of my only really gripe with this movie. You've got Jeff Bridges as the villain, Obadiah Stane. I love Jeff Bridges. He's the kind he's such a great actor because he can play both a likable best friend and then stab you right in the back, like, as he's doing it. You know, that old hippie sort of, hey, man, how's it going? You know, like, first rate. The Ironmonger suit is great, too. The end battle is a blast. A lot of people have complained, and a lot of the critics, and even some fans have complained that the end battle is too much, and it gets, you know, generic. I never thought that for 1 minute. I think it's fantastic. It's not over the top. The visual effects in this movie are also great. The suit has never looked better than in this movie. It has presence. It has weight to it. I mean, you know, we've seen it so many times in so many movies that it's just, you know, it's just, I wouldn't say it's blah, but it's sort of like, oh, there's the suit. But in this movie, it just has such weight to it. You know, it is about the coolest freaking thing. When he puts that prototype on and goes out for a test flight, I was like, that may very well be the freaking coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It is just fantastic. And the visual effects stand up very well after 10 years. You know, I think because the movie doesn't concentrate too much on them, they feel organic and part of the story, and not just, you know, for visual razzle-dazzle, which, you know, some of the later films kind of got more visual razzle-dazzle, but in this film, it's very well integrated. I have very few complaints with this movie. The humor works very, very well. The drama works well. When it needs to be dramatic, it's great. When it needs to be, you know, funny, it's funny. When it needs to be action-packed, it's an absolute blast. I mean, there's really not much I can say about this movie. I would give it probably, like a 9.3. This movie is fantastic. You know, except for Terrence Howard, who unfortunately, you know, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes bullshit where, like, Robert Downey Jr. apparently screwed him over. You know, it's all Hollywood BS type stuff. But, the score by, I can't even remember the guy's name, is a great score. It has this, like, techno sort of, like, dubstep sort of quality to it. I'm not sure how exactly, but it's very memorable. You know, I bounce my head to it. But if you haven't seen Iron Man, I don't know where the hell you've been for the past 10 years. But, yes, absolutely check it out. Obviously, if you're new to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, watch this one first. You will not be disappointed. The two sequels had their moments, but they weren't even close to as good as the first one. The first one will always stand supreme. But anyway, that's my review of Iron Man. This is MrTeej66, and I will see you next time.